For example, as you just now talked of a plus b whole square. So instead of telling them to recall a square plus b square plus 2ab, if we simply tell them ki how this formula is, actually it's a plus b multiplied by a plus b only. And then you have to, of course, use the distributive property. So this a would be multiplied by this a plus b, and then this b would be multiplied by this a plus b, which will give us and you could always derive that formula. So that is how we get this formula. Moreover, when I talk of, sir, we may think of something like, suppose we are talking of surface area of a cylinder. Now, the children, yeah, in mensuration also, we have many formulas. No? Like, let us talk of first the simple thing. Let me talk of perimeter of a rectangle only, sir. Like, if I'll tell the student, okay, what is the perimeter of rectangle? They will mug and they will say, okay, it's 2L plus B. That is 2 times length plus breadth. But if I tell them the basic, okay, perimeter basically means the boundary of anything. So this is L, this is B, this is L, and this is B. So if you will be adding them all, you will get L plus B plus L plus B, which is actually 2 times of L plus 2 times of B, which is actually 2L plus B. So that is how we get this formula. So if we'll explain them, what I feel is if we'll explain them the reason, like why this is 2L plus B. Like in my childhood also, I also only knew perimeter is 2L plus B, but never thought of it. Like as a teacher, no one told me, like as a student, no teacher explained me this thing. Plus I was, sometimes that is why we were confused in where to use the perimeter and where to use the formula of area. I know this may sound very simple to us right now. Okay, it's very simple thing whenever they are talking of boundary, but I have seen students, they ask me like, ma'am, where we need to use the perimeter and where we need to use the area. So if they will know, okay, perimeter of something is basically the length of it, the boundary thing, the total length of the boundary is the perimeter. Even if you forget, even if you are having, suppose, any triangle and they ask you to find the perimeter. So as such, we don't have any particular formula for perimeter of, we may say a general triangle. For equilateral triangle, we may say it's 3 into sides. But suppose I am having a triangle with sides, say A, B, and C. So if they will know this concept of perimeter, say, okay, we have to find the sum of the boundary. So it would be simply A plus B plus C. In that way, they won't have to, learn all the formulas if they will understand the concept.
This is beautiful. And yeah, the thing is that on this level, it sounds very simple,
Yes.
but the problem comes if that mindset is not developed in the mind of the child, right?
Correct, sir.
So 2 into L plus B is very easy to explain. When we go to the next level, for example, you were talking about surface area of a cylinder, for example.
Correct, sir.
There, if they do not have the students, whosoever is watching this, so it is very important to make a mindset of questioning everything. Questioning everything means question the formula first of all. If you are not questioning the formula, you are missing the step one. You are going to
Exactly.
be in trouble in future while learning mathematics. Just focus on, whenever a teacher, maybe your school teacher, your tuition teacher, anywhere is giving you a formula, the first question you need to ask is that what is this formula? Why this formula? This is equal to this. Okay.
Correct.
If that is not clear, do not move ahead. Okay. So this is the prerequisite to learn mathematics. Okay. So yeah, Monica, maybe the surface area thing was also you were.
Yeah, let us talk of cuboid only, sir. We were talking of rectangle, so let us talk of cuboid also. Suppose I am talking of a cuboid. Now in cuboid, we know we have something like this. So this is actually the length. This is the breadth, and this is the height. In cuboid, we have all the 3 dimensions different. First of all, I explain them like to give an example of cuboid. I would tell them you might be sitting in a cuboidal room right now. So that is the basic example, because most of the times we don't have cubicle room, but sometimes we do have. But the basic example I would give you, okay, you might be sitting in a cuboidal room right now. So just think of like we have 6 faces to this cuboid. Like the first one, which you could see in the front, the second one at the back, the third and fourth on the side, and of course the two more faces. Okay. So the top and bottom face basically,
Correct.
fifth and sixth. So when I'm talking of this very front face, so let me draw it separately.
So this
is actually L and H thing.
correct.
Now this is a rectangular thing. Now what would be the area if we go by the formula of area of rectangle? It would be L into H because we know it's length into breadth. But here the dimension of this is H. So the area of this front face would be LH. Similarly, the area of the back face, which is exactly same that like this. So that would also be LH. So basically the front and back face will together be 2LH. Correct. In the same way, if I take this side face, this is H, and this is B. So if I simply talk of this side face, it's like this is B and this is H. So we'll get the area as B into H. Similarly, the two side faces together will be 2BH. And then again, if we talk of the top and the bottom, so you could see L and B. So 2LB we'll get for top and bottom. Now, if we add all these, we'll get 2LB plus 2BH plus 2LH. And if you will take common 2, so you will get LB plus BH plus HL. That is how we get the formula for total surface area of a cuboid.
This is beautiful, actually, Monica. And after understanding it, students, now you can remember this formula. We are not against remembering the formula. Okay?
Yes, there is no need of cramming it. Like if the child understands this concept, he will remember this. And then suppose, yes, sir. Yes, sir, you say.
sorry. So the problem comes when you are not understanding this entire thing which Monica ma'am just explained. After understanding is remembering that formula is okay, but without understanding formula, just remembering the formula will bring a trouble for you. If it is not now, it will be in future. So we need to avoid that trouble. Okay. Ask your teacher whatever formula they are telling to you. Ask them that derive this formula. Please help us with the derivation of a formula. Formula derivation, if you are not understanding, after a certain point of time in your life, you will say that maths is difficult. Okay. Yes, sorry to interrupt you, Monica.
No, it's okay, sir. Now next comes the question. Like then they say, okay, you have to paint the 4 walls of the room. Then I say, okay, leave the top and the bottom face. That means leave the LBs. So you will be left with 2BH plus 2HL.
Correct.
Take 2H common and then you will be L plus B. So that is how we get the formula for lateral surface area, which is leaving the top and the bottom thing.
Correct.
And now if you have to paint the ceiling also, like sometimes it happens, the floor of course we won't be painting, but the 4 walls and the ceiling has to be painted. So we need to add another face to it, that is LB, which we have skipped. So that is how we get the area of 4 walls plus the ceiling. Because sometimes they do get question, you have to get the 4 walls plus the ceiling painted. Cost is say this and this, and now what would be the total cost of getting the paint done? And that is, sir, how mathematics also come in this planning the renovation of your home also.
Correct. No, this is fantastic, Monica. And this, for student, it is how easy it is to remember all this thing, and it will. I always say that if you are doing a hard work without understanding, it will bring a stress to you. Okay. Yeah. If you are doing hard work with understanding, then it will still be a hard work. It's not like there is no solution to hard work. If you want hard work without stress, then focus on the understanding. Okay. And the math is also same. Okay. And this is not going to help, this thinking will not going to help you just in mathematics, for all other subjects also. For example, for chemistry, for physics, for biology, wherever the math formula is coming, just go into the derivation part. If do not take a pressure of examination is coming and I just need to remember the formula, it will disturb your habit. Okay. Once your habit is made incorrectly, you could not able to correct it later on. Okay. So just focus on the formula part. This is how to learn a mathematics, and which Monica ma'am, you have explained it perfectly fine. So this is what I do not understand. Why in the higher classes also, for example, in the 12th or 11th, when somebody is doing an integration, most of the student does not know what is the meaning of integration or differentiation, right? So that the reason being the habit is developed in the earlier age. For example, for a sixth grader, seventh grader, you might, Monica, find some student are actually curious. What is your
Yes.
experience with the student? Like
Yes,
you can
yes, yes.
ask.
Some students are extremely curious. They keep on asking something, very interesting. But some are like, even if I want to explain them something extra, they won't be interested. So we have to, keep a balance with both kind of students. In those who don't have interest, I try to, keep on asking them, keep on giving them real life example, so that they could relate that math to their real life also, and they could develop that interest in math. And luckily, sir, like whomsoever I have taught now, like they have started liking maths, and that is more than enough for me. Like they may or may not be very good in maths, but at least they have developed an interest in mathematics. Like our job as a teacher is not only to guide the students now. Like if I am telling the student who is already scoring very well, and I'll say, okay, my student has got this and this marks, that is something which I have been doing in daily routine. But if I get a student who is not at all interested in maths, and with my some efforts he is able to do, he is able to gain interest, plus to certain extent do something good in maths. So I feel ki okay, I have done something good for him or her.
No, this is great, Monica. And just to share you something on this, because I get a lot of calls from the parents for their kids, and I remember this call. Somebody for a ninth grade student, I got a call from the parents, and the parents told me that their kid is already getting a 95% marks. Okay,
Okay.
and they were asking me that what will you and your tutor will do to get her 99 or 98% marks. And I always answer them something they have not expected, from a normal educators, right? So I always ask them that, uh, why. First of all, I told them that we do not guarantee something like that, this much percentage of marks your kid will be getting. And then the mother was asking me, then why is we have a need to get a tutoring from your tutor if you cannot, commit on some improvement in the marks, you know. And I always tell them that if your kid is getting 95% marks, okay, there can be two scenarios. One, your kid is already liking mathematics and understanding it properly and then getting 95% marks. If that is the case, surely the marks will improve further, because then the teacher will help him practice more, then the marks will come further. But we will make sure that his interest, which is already there, will not decrease. Interest will not decrease, interest will always increase in spite the marks are up or down. So our focus is that if the student is already interested in mathematics, our focus is that the interest should not be reduced at all. After our coaching, after tutoring by our tutor, the student will like math more than what he or she was liking before. And if by chance he was getting a marks without liking the mathematics, surely he or she will start liking mathematics after our classes. So it doesn't, matter how much marks you are getting, if it is 95 or 96 or maybe 99. The more thing is matter is that if you are not understanding and liking the subject, sooner or later math will going to trouble you, because it is a logical subject and logic works on understanding,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yes.
So this is a great explanation, Monica. I hope all the teachers are should do this kind of stuff for a higher examples also, not only for something like in a for a higher classes for the derivative and integration, and of course in the 10th grade also we have many things.
Yes.
I remember I have written one article, Monica, long back in Quora, wherein I shared with you also. I was
Yes,
explaining
sir.
the arithmetic mean, right?
Yes.
Arithmetic
Yes.
mean. And I took this example wherein a 6 feet old man uh, drowned in a swimming pool where the average height of the water was just 5 feet, So six
Yes.
feet men drowned and died in that pool. And the reason was that at some places the pool was deep enough to have 7 feet, so if you're going to a swimming pool, and if you do not see that board, whether it is a average height or it is height throughout the pool, and it may kill you,
Yes,
because
sir.
6 feet average or 5 feet average does not convey anything, it just convey what is the average of that, but you can still get hurt. So that is another example why you really need to get interested into a mathematics.
Yes, sir.